Hello everyone, welcome to the Digital Eccentric channel. I'm your host, and today we're going to have another Have You Met episode, and we're going to be playing Age of Wonders 3. Age of Wonders is a turn-based sort of 4X strategy game by a company called Triumph Studios, and it's the sequel, so obviously Age of Wonders 1, Age of Wonders 2, but it's a sequel that's been 11 years in the making, essentially. So it's been a very long time since the last game in this franchise has been out. Fans have been waiting a long time for this. And it was released about 2 weeks ago. I did a review for it on Strategy Informer, and I believe it's been received fairly well. I think they did well there. And today I'm just going to be playing for around about an hour or so, just to show you the game, so you can see for yourself what it's like. I'll walk you through some of the concepts, and I've got a game in progress that I'm about 70 or 80 turns in, so I will show you how the gameplay goes. For the record, this is essentially a Let's Play. I know I called you Have You Met? It's just a different title that I find slightly more interesting than Let's Play. And I'm a bit of a How You Met Your Mother fan, so there you go. So yes, so this is kind of the main menu of the game. As is quite obvious. The reason I'm starting here is because I just wanted to show you some kind of nice little elements of this game that it throws in. This is an avatar that I created for the purposes of leading my nation in a game, and I'll show you that in a second. Just have a brief run through. Got the campaign interface here. There's only two at the moment. The Elven Court's a bit of an introductory campaign, and the Commonwealth is sort of a proper campaign to teach you the rest of the basics against a computer opponent. Got scenarios, which are kind of predefined maps, different layouts, as you can see, kind of a story behind them, bit of lore and different rule sets. Obviously you got online multiplayer. This game uses a thing called simultaneous turns, which means that players play out their turns at the same time, so there's no waiting for other players to finish what they're doing in a multiplayer match. I haven't had a chance to try it out for myself yet, but it does sound quite interesting. It does keep you on your toes as well, because obviously if you're not quick, someone can beat you to the punch, as it were. Use your options, etc, etc, and then the random map interface, which is probably where you'll spend most of your time, especially if you finish the campaigns. You just get to customize the game as you want it. Maximum of 8 players, human and AI. Map sizes can become extra large, and they come with a warning saying that they can take a while to complete. Different land types, different difficulties, game flow. Game flow is a bit misnamed. It kind of, even though it is related to the pacing, it also changes some of the start conditions sometimes. So in the battle one, players start with a city and a powerful army. And so people can sort of get straight into the kind of warring element of the game. In empire building, there you start with a settler and a small army, and you need to build your empire from scratch. But there are no cities present on the map at the start of the game. So all the other AI factions also start with a settler and an army, so you get to choose where you start, whereas in a normal game you start off with a city in a predefined location. The adventure mode, you start off with just an army on a map and a few cities, and it's more like to do with exploring, interacting with the game, the game's various kind of RPG elements, which I'll show you later. I haven't had a chance to test that out yet. But I can show you it in another episode perhaps. And that's basically it. Got advanced mode, obviously. And once you've chosen some of the other logistics, you go to launch. This is where you create your avatar. Now in this game, armies are present on the map, not the same way as Civilization is. Army stacks roam the map, and then you load into a separate battle interface, which I'll show you in a second. But your nation is led by an avatar, so it's your personification in the game, and this is where you can create him. You can choose from presets, or you can customize your own. This is mine, Ibram the Destroyer. He chooses race, he chooses class, of which there are 6, I believe, and each class has a different theme, and you can also choose starting abilities. And that's a quick overview of the game. So, not going to bore you anymore. I'm going to launch straight into my current game, which I've been playing. Here we go. Might turn some of the background sounds down a bit more. So you can hear me a bit better. There you go. So welcome to the world of Age of Wonders 3. So this is kind of the map as it's fully zoomed out. I really quite like this because it's very artistic, it's very stylized, and you also get to see a lot of useful information. So these little flags represent armies, and the colour denotes who they belong to. So I'm the red player, so I've got an army there, got an army in the city there. This blue is another empire I've discovered that I'm kind of brushing up against, and I've got people going all over the place. These pickaxes represent different resource nodes that you can explore for a one-time gain, and then if they fall within the boundaries of your empire you get to benefit from. So in this case it's a gold mine, I get a benefit of plus 15 gold per turn if it falls within the domain of my empire. It's quite useful. Let me just choose these. These represent different kinds of buildings or dungeons. So this is a dungeon here. It's one I've explored. Does it give me a benefit? Yes, it does. It gives me plus 30 workforce towards the nearest city. Dungeons, I suppose they're not as good as they sound. They're just slightly stronger locations that you can explore, but you only fight one battle and then they're considered explored. It's not like you travel in a massive labyrinth fighting multiple enemies and stuff like that. But, the only thing they're good for is fighting tough opponents, but also getting good loot in return. So they're kind of useful, but you know, they could be better. This is a watchtower. There are a couple of buildings you can place down in this game other than cities, which is what I really like about Age of Wonders 3. It takes a different approach to empire management and expanding your empire. So watchtowers, they give no area of control, but they have a massive viewing range, so they can act as an early warning system. And then you've got these things here, which are forts. Now forts are defensive structures. They have a small area of control which can be expanded through upgrades, but not by much. And then obviously any armies that are in them gain the defensive bonuses of walls, and they're really useful for guarding and also for controlling resource nodes that you find useful, but you don't want to plonk a city down. So plonking a city down here would have been useless because there would have only been these two nodes, maybe that third one, but then that's it. It would have just been a superfluous city, and that generally happens in 4X games that deals with city buildings. Sometimes you find yourself plonking down a city just to nab one resource node. It's kind of pointless, but plonking down forts, as you can see I've done it here as well, just allows you access to these awkwardly placed resources. Now not all nodes you can do anything about. So for example, this great farm, it's plus 5 gold and also plus 100 population. Now the fort doesn't use the population. Oh, hello Mad Owl. Thanks for watching the channel. So I know I was saying, yes, the forts don't use the population resource. That's just used in cities for growing, and so it's fairly self-explanatory there. But forts cannot make use of that resource. So there are other things to bear in mind when plonking forts down. Sometimes it may be best to plonk a city down so you can make full use of the node. And just one final thing before I continue playing the game. Each map has an optional underworld, which you can see here. I haven't really explored the underworld that much because, well, I'm developing an overground empire. Each race has a certain affinity for where they like to live, so if I plonked a city down here I'd have some morale issues amongst my populace. And again, another sort of weakness I found with this game as well is that it doesn't really incentivize going out of your comfort zone too much. Like, there's no real resources down here that are aren't found above ground. Like there's whatever that is, which I seem to remember gives a kind of bonus. Yeah, there's other explorable dungeons that I could clear out and bring under my control, but all these nodes that you see here, these are easily found above ground, so there's no real reason to sort of venture forth as you were. The only reason I came down here in the first place is because I was at war with someone. They had a city around here. I basically wiped out the city, forced them into a peace, and just been keeping an eye on this entrance ever since. And that entrance comes out here, which is kind of close to my empire, and I've got an army on permanent watch here, as you can see. So again, some really no one has left to go underground. I'm afraid Geordies aren't part of the game, Mad Owl. It's just humanity as a kind of generic, abstract race. So they have an affinity for. Let's have a look. I can't actually remember how you found out what your race has an affinity for. But yeah, unfortunately, there's no Geordies, I'm afraid. I do have, I do own a dwarf city, because when you just conquer cities of other races, you keep their race. So you also have to bear in mind their needs. You can just migrate them out if I want. I'll show you an option here. So yeah, migrate to humans. I could forcibly change the city to a human population if I wanted, but that's considered an act of evil. You get negative karma points, and that affects your alignment. So yeah, look, alignment is pure good, so I'm plus 1500 good points essentially. But I've got some negative modifiers here. I raised an occupied city, raised my own city. That was necessary, unfortunately, and I killed a unit dedicated to good, which sometimes happens. I think there must have been an army I thought had a good guy in it, but never mind. So let me just get rid of some of these. So yeah, you've caught me at the end of a turn by the looks of things, so cycle that through. I am playing simultaneous turns with the AI. Insufficient funds. Insufficient funds. I'm just going to sort out my heroes at the moment. Where is that? Panel. Looks like they're founding a city down here. Don't know if I actually want them to do that. Maybe that I'll have to go to war. Yeah, it's right clicking in this game. I've been playing a lot of Warlock 2 recently, which is a similar themed 4X game. And the control scheme is a bit different over that one. send some armies over. Just haven't really explored much of the surrounding area in this game so far. It's kind of been a case of slowly expanding and then exploring anything near me. Grand Palace, city ads. Yes. I like the sound of that. Wondering what the Grand Palace did. We'll listen to a quick overview of seat management then whilst I'm here. It's fairly basic. Obviously this is the unit panel and these are all the units I have access to. Units come in different classes, so you've got the archer class, got the infantry class, you've got the irregular class, which are kind of special-ish units that can be weaker in terms of outright fighting, but they have other interesting abilities and you can unlock a lot of research that make irregular units actually quite useful. The engineer is a irregular unit that's unique only to the Dreadnought hero class, and the Dreadnought hero class has a very steampunk feel. They make machines of war as opposed to just the usual stuff. So you can see down here I've got guys with guns, I've got flame tanks, cannons, I've got a massive golem thing which I haven't had a chance to use yet. That's a machine, as are normal trebuchets. Got settlers which obviously build new units. There's the builders, or what builds watchtowers, forts, that kind of stuff. Halberdiers are pikeman classes. You got, excuse me, a cavalry class, and then there's the support class as well. So you research techs and build buildings to unlock units to recruit here. At the moment, I've built a lot of what there is to build in this city. Actually, I've only got a Grand Palace, an Arcane Item Forge, which I can use to create items, and then I can just dedicate it to this one, population growth, if I wanted to grow a city quickly. This one will devote it to knowledge, which increases the rate at which I discover spells. Merchandise gets me more gold, and generate mana as mana, so I'm just going to choose merchandise because I need more money. There's a war coming soon, so I've got to be careful. Second of evil. Alright, then I'll let her have that one. You want to be evil, kind of got a good thing going right now. This is 30's breaking. Right, so this is the kind of research area. I think every class has their own unique, hero class has their own unique research tree, but I'm not 100% sure. I haven't played around with the other kind of heroes yet. Great mobilization. Juggernaut. Machine. Do like the sound of Juggernaut. This is the guy I was at war with earlier in the game. He keeps declaring war on me, and then I keep sending him a ceasefire offer, and he keeps taking it. So, yeah, He's a bit crazy, but not a lot you can do. Shadowstalker. Tier 3 monster is an expert. If he decides to get up to Mischief, that's going to be a tough one to take down. So there are meant to be a lot more factions here, and I've only met... Well, I've met 3, there's still 4. He's mainly underground as far as I know. This guy is to my east, and he doesn't really like me that much apparently. And obviously this person's to my west, so these people are probably going to be a mixture of above and below ground as well. All being fairly... It's quiet, but sure what to do about this. There's no point actually getting into a war just yet over this. I do need to figure out a plan. I am actually trying to find a place to plunk down a new city. There shall be no war today. See, now he's declared war on me again. I think he doesn't like me. players be tripping. They keep invading my domain. So this is another kind of flaw. Not a flaw, I suppose, but it's a challenge. I'm going at this point, and I don't really know what to do with myself. I could start. Well, someone's already started a war with me, but I could start a war with any of the people I know about. I'm kind of in a place where I'm just expanding, just because there's nothing else to do. And then, of course, you have to work out ideal placement. Like, ideally, I'd want a city along the south here somewhere, because I've got some pretty cool boats now. The only harbour I've got at the moment, or what I will have, is up here. So I kind of want to be able to put boats into the Southern Ocean along here. And obviously founding a harbour would be useful for that, but now I've got to worry about these guys, and it's just a little bit awkward, you know? I originally raised that sea, but I might plonk it back just because it's not letting me, it hasn't let me place a fort here, because the city ruins are still there, and apparently, sorry, 1 second, just need to see what Ad Al here has to say. I know, Mad, this isn't a re-release, it's an actual sequel, so the last game was Age of Wonders 2, and it had some kind of subtitle, I forget what it was, but it's an actual third release of the franchise, so it's taken the base mechanics, base engine, updated them a bit. I never played the original Age of Wonders game, so I can't actually tell you what the actual differences are. I know there are differences. What I can tell you is I think this is quite an interesting game. I quite like it. It's got your Civ meets fantasy sort of theme going, but what I really like is the added flexibility in terms of how you manage your empire and how you expand it. It's not all about just plonking cities down left, right and centre. You can be a bit more tactical, you can put forts down, you can guard choke point in key areas. And unlike Civ, it's got its own battle engine, which I think I will demonstrate. I'll demonstrate that for you now. Alright, so this is a legendary dungeon. Which you can take this opportunity. I'm a bit of a save scummer, so you'll have to forgive me. I like it when things go wrong. Right, so independent army, it's got some orcs, assassins, humans, draconians, blah 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 blah. So yeah, this is the battle engine. So all battles take place on these fairly small environments. We're not talking total war here, they're not huge maps, they're fairly small maps that are based around the area you're in. City sieges are a bit bigger just because they deal with cities and they actually have the features of the cities, so you'll be able to see my mouse. So, oh excuse me. So where these pillars are, there'd be a wall and you can climb over that wall, you can try and knock it down. I've got a cannon here, I could blow it down. If there was gates, you could use your normal people to blow the gates, etc. Because I'm the one who attacked, the other army goes first. And unlike the kind of campaign level, there is no simultaneous turns here. It's good old-fashioned turn-based. So I'm going to move my cannon forward. Can use it to fire because it's a cannon. I could have fired through. This is where I'm going to bring my engineers up, and they have a special ability where they can rapidly reload cannons. So cannons normally take two turns to reload. Now it's only going to take the one. tries to block because I've caught out by that before. There's also, in addition to basic attacks, any unit abilities, there's also spells that the leader can perform. This is kind of the Empire-wide spellbook that my hero's avatar, which is here, can use, plus any heroes that are... So if another heroes lead an army like this one, they also have access to the spellbook, and they also have their own individual spellbook that they can have access to. And these spells in here are expanded through leveling up your heroes, which I haven't demonstrated yet. I'll show you in a second. Alright, so that's my turn done. Let's see what the retaliation is like. Those guys are quite powerful, those assassins are. Probably going to lose the unit. Oh, I did lose a unit, that's a shame. Shame I can't get a through shot on that one, that would be quite good. Come back to that one. This guy's, well, bamboozled. Can't go for kill. Reload. That's just orgasm. I don't think it was quite an orgasm. They were flying succubus demons anyway. Splash damage, there isn't splash damage on cannons, but there is like power through damage. So you remember there's 3 units here. So if my cannon was over here and I fired this way, it would hit the first unit, and then the cannon would travel through to all the units behind it. Obviously my cannon was out of position, so I couldn't really make full use of that effect. There are spells, there are things that do have splash damage, that area effect spells and what have you. It's just alright. Fireballs. And they're dead. I don't actually have any area of effect spells. There are not that many of them, I don't think, so I can't really demonstrate them to you. But anyway, to answer your question, there's no splash damage on the cannon specifically. Boom. Again. And 2 times 3. And they're dead. And I win. So I won at the cost of 1 musketeer unit. You'd be surprised how high attrition is in this game. You can easily do a battle, and even when it says, even when the computer thinks you'll probably win, you can still lose like 1 unit. It's actually very hard not to use a unit. Actually, you have to be really quick. And, you know, the AI is not dumb. It will kind of cluster around individual units at a time. If you're not careful. Or did I win? So I've got 234 gold. And then I also got some units that will now join my side. So I've got a high elf unicorn rider. Yay. And then a draconian raptor. So 2 fairly strong cavalry units. And my hero's upgraded as well, so I can show you the so this is sort of the role-playing interface. On the left here is all of my leader's current abilities and stats and modifiers, etc, etc, etc. And hero upgrades. So every time your hero, any hero goes up a level, he's currently level 9, you get 5 upgrade points and different things. So this unit turns dense vegetation to barren as the unit moves over it. Interesting. So basic ones like these where you just +1 to stats, they generally cost, earlier they cost like 1 or 2, but now they're more costly because you've firebomb. Survive fire. Oh, so this has splash damage. Control. Go firebomb. That sounds like a lot of fun. Middle-earth. Well, give it time, Mad. There probably will be a Middle-earth mod at some point. They've, I'm pretty sure this is fully integrated into Steam Workshop. You know, as much tools are out there as they can release are out there. So yeah, there probably will be a Middle-earth mod given time. I don't know how long such a mod will survive because, you know, people can get funny about. Mad just said he has a Lord of the Rings addiction. It's a terrible hobbit. Congratulations, Mad. You best, worst Joker ever, I feel. Yeah, I don't know how long a Middle-earth mod will survive because of copyright issues, but, you know, hey ho. I'm sure someone will make one at some point. I think I'll found a city here anyway, just to stop anyone else founding a city here. Otherwise, borders are going to be hard to maintain. One turn. I found a new person? White. No white. Unless it's Shnagar again. So we'll find out eventually. Actually, yeah, given by the location, it's probably Shnagar again. So never mind that. See, these guys have, well, this is an army, it's a hero. How would you want? Go away. Stop invading my domain. Yeah. Nice. No. I think it's going to have to be around here. I'm going to want that southern port. So despite declaring war on me, what's his face? Xerte hasn't actually done anything yet, so no worries there. She's going to return to the fort to rest. We're going to guard that fort there. That's another turn. Here's how far the camera can zoom out, Mad. So pretty far. So this is the game map I'm working with. And this is both above and below ground, so the square footage is identical. But there's the, you can see. So it's hard to get as a kind of scale for how big the map is. I mean, this is me scrolling down to the edge. There's a lot of stuff below me. I'm kind of in the upper left hand corner sort of, so there's someone there, sorry, excuse me, there's someone there. This guy is above and below ground. I know that because he had a city around here underground which I destroyed, but God knows the other players are probably off in this land here. I apologise for the adverts. I don't really know much about Twitch. I don't know how quickly the adverts appear. I'm not a partner yet, so I'm really subscribed or whatever it is you can do where you can turn the ads off. So I'm just a dirty free user, so I'm afraid you have to bear with me, unfortunately. Excellent. Got my first harbour. First ship out, so you can see what that does. Pretty sure the map theme I chose was continents, so there should be several continents above land. Underground is just, I think no matter what map I use, underground is always the same, to be honest. Not quite sure what the makeup of underground is. So what I might do is plonk a city here and then plonk a fort there just to control those final two nodes. Wait for a city to build itself first. Yeah, so I'm playing against the AI at the moment, but they're all taking simultaneous turns, as you can see, just indicating along the bottom here. This is everyone that's currently in the game. I'm the only one who's not signified that they finished their turn. All these people have, so multiplayer, if you chose simultaneous turns, the same thing would happen. So you've got to be quick, otherwise people might get in there before you, beat you to the punch. You don't really want that. So. New day dawns, yay! Starting to discover the extent of my neighbour's domain here. Undead people. Give ourselves another battle. Read it up a little. Charge! And you reload. Did my turn. that's just not fair. I know one. Victory! Like a Jatar's Rag, epic torso egg item. Light protection when defense. A Unicorn Sire, strong mount item. Yeah, why not? Take that reward. Right, so it's coming up to 53 minutes, so I'm actually going to call it a day there for the moment. Thank you everyone for watching. Sorry if you were expecting me to go on a bit longer. I tend to like to keep my streams short, mainly because I also upload these to YouTube, and people's attention spans vary. I also don't think I'm particularly interesting enough to sustain a stream for that long. So this was just a quick look at Age of Wonders 3. I'll probably do more videos of Age of Wonders 3 in the future, but I like to mix it up, play a variety of different games. I do a regular Space Engineers stream. At the moment it's on Thursdays because that's when the update happens, and that kind of spurs me on to actually play it. It's part of my Survivor series, so do tune in tomorrow if you like Space Engineers. And even if you've never heard of Space Engineers, it's a really interesting game, so I advise you to tune in tomorrow. I don't know exactly what time it's going to be, but if you keep an eye on my Twitter, and obviously if you follow me, you'll keep abreast out of these things, and obviously I'll upload everything I do to YouTube, so you'll be able to catch up anyway. So again, thank you very much for watching. Thank you to Mad for talking to me whilst I do this stream. I hope you enjoyed Age of Empires 3. My Twitter handle is at Digital Eccentric, so not quite the same as it's spelled on Twitch. It's digital, then capital X and ENTRIC. So if you have any questions or want to talk to me about anything, just hit me up on Twitter. More than happy to help you out. So this is Age of Empires 3, and Age of Wonders 3, and I will see you next time. You've been watching the Digital Eccentric channel.